Kia ora, good evening. Stewart Island locals are supporting the call by local power divers to stop shark cage diving in Foveaux Strait, claiming it's putting lives at risk and is modifying shark behaviour. Great white shark are protected, but commercial shark dive operators are at odds with fishers about the impact of the close encounter tourism attractions on the species and potential risks to other divers. Shark cage diving ventures have been operating in Foveaux Strait for a number of years, but now Stewart Islanders and commercial power operators are calling for a one-year moratorium to assess its effects. Some say unwanted close encounters due to fish baiting are becoming common. It's a debate that's been causing ripples for some time, but shark dive operator Mike Haynes says they're playing by the rules.
The operators must have a permit each. We've had applications in now for in excess of 5 months. That's both operators. And of course, it's sitting there ready basically for those permits to be sent back to us. But at the moment, of course, the Power Association have lodged an appeal to try and have the industry stopped.
Baiting practices have been reviewed and they're currently waiting for new permit applications to be accepted.
We're not allowed to use silhouettes. So we used to use a seal silhouette, which was just a little 500mm long piece of carpet that looked like a seal. And the other one was that they didn't want us using bait or burley coming from bags over the side of the bait.
Andy says it's not just shark dive operators who entice fish using bait.
Codfish fishermen use vast amounts of chicken gut, they use power gut, and that attracts great whites as well. And in fact, days where we have cod fishermen working close near to us, it is difficult for us at times to attract the great white because they're hanging around the cod fishing boats.
He says his seasonal operation means there's 5 months a year where power fishermen can claim their catch.
There's a big ocean out there. There's no reason why the power divers can't operate outside of the region where we are, and they get 5 months a year that we don't operate. Why can't they then get in there and get their little bits of power from the islands or close by from where we operate?
Haynes believes there's room for everyone.
I mean, I'm entitled to be out there, so is Peter Scott at the end of the day. We're both ex-fishermen, but besides that, that waterway doesn't belong to one group.
Great white sharks come to the region to mate, but the power industry wants the shark dive industry regulated, believing the practice is modifying behaviour of the protected species despite no attacks yet.
I wouldn't take the absence of an attack or a fatality as being encouraging. There's a pretty simple reason for that, is that our guys, the power divers, are way too smart to be jumping in the water around these noddies, chucking bait and burley into the water and stirring white pointy sharks up.
Storm Stanley says the current permit changes don't go far enough for the protected species or human safety.
From our point of view, it's the safety of the power divers, of course, but we certainly we don't wish any harm on the great white sharks. They're a fully protected species in the same sense that dolphins are, or orca, or any protected marine species. We wish them no harm, but our first concern has to be about the safety of our divers, but the two aren't mutually exclusive, of course.
Fishermen have reported great white sharks are becoming more confident around boats, and it's unclear how all parties using Foveaux Strait can work together.
Given that we're talking behaviour modification of a highly mobile species, I don't see how spatial separation would make any difference.
Safety concerns lie not just with commercial and recreation power divers and fishers, but also the Stewart Island community, who yesterday released a 130 signature petition calling on the Minister of Conservation and others to put an end to shark cave diving ventures. Haynes also says DOC needs to assess the situation, saying research is necessary.
Well, the outcome from DOC might be that they would actually be able to have get rid of the major uncertainties around the shark cage dive operations' impacts on this fully protected species. There are quite big information gaps on the effects of shark caging on sharks population, and the long-term ecology of sharks around the TT Islands. But I know that you're interested in the human safety angle. It would also give time for the new health and safety bill reform bill that's being processed at the moment to come into play, which would help protect anyone else in the waters around there, because it would make the shark cage dive operators accountable for their practices.
There are only 2 great white shark cage diving operations in New Zealand, both operating from Foveaux Strait. Margot Southland, South Today News. New Zealand has once again been voted top country in the 2014 Telegraph Travel Awards. It's the 3rd year in a row New Zealand's taken out the win, gaining top spot ahead of the Maldives and South Africa in the favourite country category. Almost 90,000 people responded to the survey, making it one of the biggest surveys of its kind. Prime Minister John Key says tourism is a significant part of our economy and a major employer. Government invested $600 million in tourism and promotion since 2008. Some 2.8 million people visited New Zealand last year, spending over $7 billion. Invercargill's Ascot Park Hotel is host to an awards ceremony tonight, but it might not be to everyone's taste. The New Zealand Velvet and Trophy Antler Awards ceremony runs tonight after 3 days of weighing and measuring freshly cut deer velvet and antlers. Sharon Rees spoke to one velvet expert about what exactly the judges were looking for.
We've developed a criteria for judging over the 33 years that we've had the competition. So we obviously have different categories. There's 12 different categories that we look for on a judging sheet, and it's quality, style, how the head is cut. Weight obviously carries a huge amount of the judging points, but it's a combination of all of that fall out as the place getters and winners at the end of it.
Where does New Zealand deer velvet rank internationally?
At the moment we're producing about 500 tonne of velvet per annum, and that equates to about half the world's tradable deer velvet. I know China produces a similar volume, but it's consumed internally. Canada, Russia, dropping in there, their volumes are down to 80, 90 tonne per annum. Australians pretty insignificant, so New Zealand's right at the very top as far as the total volume that we produce and export.
And how have the sizes compared to previous years?
That's the amazing thing, having been involved in this industry for 35 years and seeing where velvet weights for age and breed have come from. We have almost tripled the weights to what we were 30 years ago when we started. Even 15 years ago, to give you an example, 3-year redheads, we were in awe of something cutting 4 kilos. Well, now we're getting up over 9 kilos for that, and today we've got a 22 kilo elk head in. So the bar incrementally has just lifted year on year.
Stay with us. Still to come on the bulletin, we check out just how tough Southland kids are as Sports Southland put them through their paces. Plus, we check out the skills of local woodworkers. Welcome back. School-aged children packed Rugby Park Stadium today to duck, dodge and dive their way to proving just how tough they are. Sharon Rees has more.
Almost 800 kids from 19 schools around Southland filled Rugby Park today to participate in what was likely to be the biggest obstacle course of their young lives. The Mitre 10 Mega Tough Kid obstacle course made its first appearance in Invercargill today, and the kids weren't afraid to jump right in.
So we've got a big mega slide, so that's our finale piece, and we've got a water slide, we've got a sawdust slurry and a big skip. One of our staff members, Anne, brought along her farm truck, so we've got silage on either side and they're climbing over the silage onto the truck, so yeah, a cool range of obstacles.
How did the idea for this come about?
So the Tough Kid is a registered trademark brand, and it was started by Sport Wanganui, and so they've been running the Tough Kid event for about 4 years now. So yeah, it's basically started up in Wanganui, and regional sports trusts all over New Zealand have adopted the same event too.
What goes into setting something like this up?
Oh, it's massive, it's huge. We were here all day yesterday setting up obstacles. This is months of planning that's all come together on one day, so it's pretty exciting to see the finished product. Yeah.
And who's involved in it?
So mainly it's Sports Southland, so we've got an events team at Sports Southland, and that's myself and Matt Sellers. And so yeah, that's us coordinating the event, putting it all together with the help of the rest of our staff who've been fantastic in the last couple of days and getting it all together.
And with primary schools slowly winding down for the holiday period, what better way to expel some of that pre-Christmas excitement?
I guess it's just a chance for the kids to get out, during school hours and participate in something with their other peers, get them out and be active. And as part of our Sport Southland vision, I guess, it's to get more people more active and more often, so that's just another one of those opportunities that we're giving them to get active. We've had great feedback from all the schools, especially in the lead up to the event as well. We had heaps of people who are interested in the event, but because we capped the event because it was the first year, we just had to turn them away. So yeah, next year we'll be looking at even bigger and better.
Schools that didn't get the chance to take part in the obstacle course needn't worry, because event organisers said it will be back next year, bigger and better. Sharon Rees, South Today News.
The cast has been chosen and the first of the rehearsals have begun as Southland thespians prepare for the annual Shakespeare in the Park production. In recent years, the actors have performed a number of Shakespearean plays, including Hamlet, A Midsummer Night's Dream and The Comedy of Errors. But this year, Invercargill residents will be treated to the popular play, The Taming of the Shrew.
Crown him that.
Hi, I'm Mark Clare and I'm playing Petruchio in The Taming of the Shrew, which is the summer Shakespeare here. It's going to be in Queen's Park, and this is...
I'm Victoria Mills and I will be playing Katharina in The Taming of the Shrew, summer Shakespeare in Queen's Park.
Taming of the Shrew is a play that's not often put on these days because it's a little bit contentious in terms of what goes on between these two, but we're exploring the play in terms of how it relates to well, modern life, I suppose.
Some extremely intricate and crafty work is on display at the City Gallery as the Southland Woodworkers Guild showcase their annual exhibition. The exhibit shows the work members of the Southland Woodworkers Guild have created in the past year, ranging from functional furniture to creative artworks lovingly created by men and women. Using New Zealand timber such as Rimu, beech and cherry, over 20 woodworkers have crafted items in as little as a week or as long as 9 months. It's competitive on a regional level also, with one member, Peter Robbie, winning a South Island title this year. Skills vary from lathe work for cups and bowls to more intricate scroll work and through to carving and cabinet making. Today we caught up with Southland District Mayor Gary Tong to hear his message to Southlanders over the Christmas period.
Well, Southlanders, it's been a very exciting year for all of Southland. I've had an extremely busy year as well as your councillors and staff. There have been no lows, so to speak. It's all been very positive, with the opening of stage 1 of the cycle trail being well up on the agenda, and then obviously trying to secure future funding for our roading to keep the rates down in Southland. So all in all, it's been an exciting year, and we're looking forward to 2015 being much the same. We're going to be faced with quite a few different policies and changes coming back down from central government, but we're focused on being prepared to be busy. So I just really, on behalf of the councillors and staff of the Southland District Council, want to wish you a very safe and Merry Christmas, as well as a prosperous New Year, and we look forward to working with you all again in 2015.
And that's all from the news desk this Tuesday. Stay tuned for sport along next after the weather from the news team. Good night.